Well, greetings from the centre of Manchester. It's not one of my usual rambles, it's just a little bit of a few minutes of nostalgia. I was on the way to a hotel for some research, but I was just passing by the building behind me, and as you can see, it's quite a grand one, and naturally enough it's called the Grand. It used to be the flagship hotel of Trust House Forte many years ago, and I remember travelling from Dublin to Manchester. It was deemed quite posh to go on an Aer Lingus flight 50 years ago. The cost was about £130, which if you annualise that for inflation, that's around about, I think it's about £1,000 nowadays. But we got to the airport and we were told the plane was not leaving. It had been cancelled. And in those days you didn't have phones, or you couldn't glue to your social media to get instant messages. And they bussed us in on a rather fine bus to stay in that establishment behind me overnight. Resplendent luxury, and then bust us out the following day to the airport to catch the plane home. And it was, for me as an 18-year-old, it was just, wow, look what's happened to me. I just thought I'd mention it. But yes, there we go. And I'm just going to have a little wander now before I go to the meeting, just to show you the gay village here in Manchester, which is fabulous. This is the former Grand Hotel. And this part of Ayton Street in Manchester has changed dramatically. I mean, there's all these high-rise buildings. Well, not high-rise, but all these cement buildings. This disgracefully passes as a SIP, simple, intelligent parasitism car park, which is an absolute disgrace that you're paying top dollar and have to avoid having stones thrown at your fancy motor. We're just coming up to the fine old building that is the Minchell Street Crown Court, and as you can see, I think they have a few customers in today. A couple of Joe Amy vans bringing some of the nice people. I'm not too sure if it's the ones that were doing all that setting fire to cars the other evening, but this fine old building, and it really is just absolutely stunning. Wonderful. There's a gentleman walking by. Wonderful old doorway. And there's the clock tower. I can see, well, my meeting's at 12 o'clock around the corner, so I better get a move on. With some little animals guarding the door. You can see the wonderful detail and the work of this particular building. And just overall, it's quite a magnificent building, as you can see. And just opposite, some old warehousing of years gone past. Live Oasis Piccadilly. I wonder, do they charge surge pricing for their work? And the back of the building, which I think it might be on the Bridgewater Canal, but I stand to be corrected. And this is the famous Canal Street, which is essentially the mainstay of the gay village in Manchester, and it's probably one of the safest places to enjoy a night out. You just get left alone, you get served by wonderful bar staff, and once they know that you're there just simply to enjoy yourself, have a drink and a meal, they're more than happy. And that is the rather iconic Velvet Bar. All bedecked to make it look all nice and pleasant. And just on the opposite side, it's called Canal Street because, well, there's the canal. And the locks. And Puss, I don't know who Puss is, and people enjoying themselves, and it's just, and as you can see, now surrounded by concrete carbuncles everywhere, although they've done a little bit, I suppose, a little bit more pleasant. And there's one of the old warehouses by the canal from years past. And as we guffaw at campus being spelt with a K, we're just in time to see a boat coming through. Look at this. Take me down to my boat on the river, as the Styx song used to go. Wouldn't you like to be on that now? Just delightful. As it hums and thrums its way along. Beautiful. Very relaxing. I'll just linger for a few minutes and we can watch the boat come in. They're amazingly narrow, these boats. Well, I mean, that's rather obvious, but it's amazing how much they do cram into them. I've had the enjoyment of being on one overnight with a friend over in Cheshire, and it's just incredible. But I think the only thing that's a little bit, I suppose, strange and off-putting is my friend has a 40-inch television. And as you can see by the people standing there who presumably own the boat, a 40-inch television doesn't give you much leeway to actually sit back and watch it. But lovely. I timed that right, didn't I? And as you can see as I pan around, if we have a look behind me, that's leading to the Piccadilly area, the station. And I wonder what my late mother would have made of this. She was brought up in Salford. And there's my venue. A nice lunchtime meeting at the Doubletree. No advertisement intended. And to the old Crown Courts, I see that they've bolted on a new piece in keeping with the existing architecture. And the front of the Crown Court, I'm not too sure the little bit of modernisation at the top there is in keeping with the original building, but nevertheless it's a fine structure. And a little bit of contrast in architectural styles that is the current centre of Manchester. And as I say, it's just a very quick wander around, but I just want to prove to people that the Waldorf is not a fancy hotel. As I mentioned, it's just a quick reminisce, not a proper official ramble. And by request, someone has asked me to have a wander through Piccadilly Gardens here in Manchester. So I'll do that and then finish. And as we approach Piccadilly Gardens, nice monument to Wellington by public subscription, here are the famous Piccadilly Gardens ahead. The haven of people having a rest, eating their lunch, supplying various illicit substances to other people, and a haven for, as an acquaintance of mine, Charles Veach, says, crackheads and other associated people. Don't get me wrong, they're not all bad. Well, this is it. There's Victoria sitting there quietly, observing what's going on. This is Piccadilly Gardens with the Mercure Hotel on the left, the wonderful City Tower, and let's just have a quick wander along and see what people are up to, and then we shall close this video because my bus is nigh. I have things to do, people to see, and internet watchers to annoy with other things. And there it is in its glory. So as they say, your request is fulfilled. As you can see, it's quite a hive of activity, and they have this sort of water feature thing that is currently switched off, and then just one final little feature of Piccadilly Gardens before we leave, and that's the permanent street food hutches that are open for lunch every day. This is it. Just have a quick look and let you see what it looks like. All sorts of Epicurean delights for you to enjoy. They call them the specialist markets. And there you have it. A view of the gardens from the other side. It's otherwise really quite pleasant, where you can just come and have a meal or just hang out with your mates. Why not? Just as I say, avoid the more suspect people that you find here. And just a quick view in Piccadilly, the iconic, just off the square, the Britannia Hotel. I haven't a clue who thinks up these advertising campaigns, but this is just horrific. And that's it, just a very quick whistle-stop tour, sort of reminiscing of Manchester. I'll leave it at that and say thank you very much once again for watching.